Hello, everybody.
What's up?
Welcome back, Agents Aftershock mid-season finale.
Yeah, this feels like a rushed mid-season finale too. Like really rushed.
I was very disappointed with the lack of Ghost Rider.
Yeah. I think they blew their budget on something that doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense for like the show itself. And I'm just gonna come out and say it. They really telegraphed the fact that something was going to happen to May really hard. It was almost like amateur hour exposition dump, and they might as well have had Coulson say, "Well, May, you're 2 days from retirement." And I was just sitting there. I'm like, really? You're really laying into it this hard? And then when it finally gets to it, it makes no freaking sense.
Yeah, I gotta say, I did not see that ending coming at all. Like that. But
yeah, it's not in a good way, though. You didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
It's very much one of those, oh, I didn't see this coming because it doesn't make any effing sense.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into spoilers. When the fuck did she get switched out?
That's what I'm saying. Apparently, okay, so the final ending shot that we're going to be lingering on for 2 weeks.
What the heck? I don't know why that loaded. I don't know. Sorry. Don't ask me.
Okay.
My phone wants me to play Pokemon Go.
That was a way more exciting ending than we had with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, the final ending shot we have is Ada killing a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, I know how this feels.
And then
it's like, don't worry, Agent May, I'll take good care of you. And then it's her wiping away blood from May's face, and it's like, when the hell did this happen? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know when May would have gotten switched out, and
see, that's the problem. They're going to have to invent some kind of BS scenario for this to have happened, because this wouldn't.
Yeah, and there was also, like, just looking back on it, like, when would Ada have had the time to build a replica of May? Like a life model vehicle. Like, when would she have had the time to do that? And she didn't start messing with the Darkhold until, like, an episode ago. So there was no even reason for her to make a fake May.
The only way I can see this working out for them is it already had been set up that he was working on other LMDs.
May, like, the only point she could have gotten switched out is, like, right after they brought her, like, when she died and got shocked back to life.
Right, but then there wouldn't have been any point for that.
Yeah. And that, like, when she was there at Dude's house is the only time a switch out could have happened.
Right. But, yeah, and then you're going to tell me, it's like, I know you said that these are very lifelike things, but you're also talking about someone who has years of build-up and camaraderie between people, and there are going to be little things that the machine is not going to be able to capture.
Yeah, especially with Coulson. Like, Coulson just seems like he has no clue, and he's all about, like, it looks like him and May are about to start dating or something.
That being said, if it comes up and they come back next season and it's Coulson throwing May into the brig because something's up, a la Mirror Mirror style, when Spock arrested Mirror Kirk.
Yeah.
And they're escorting him down the hall while he's screaming and kicking, and Spock's just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm very intrigued about what's happening. If something like that happens, I'm going to be like, you know what? Sort of alright with this. Not the whole scenario, but this little scenario in particular.
Yeah, I don't know when or where May could have been replaced except at that guy's house, but Ada wouldn't have had a reason to do that back then because she was still learning.
Right.
And it made no sense. That being said, let's kind of get away from that. Mace grew on me a little bit more as a character this week.
Yeah, I kind of respected him a lot more. They gave him a little more. They gave him that character depth and realization that a lot of was missing throughout this. And I was like, you know what? Yeah,
there you go.
He feels like an actual person now, not something to move a plot forward.
Yeah, and like
which is what you want.
Even with like he was really cool this episode with everybody too. Like Coulson just pretty much Coulson knew he didn't need to keep secrets, and that's why Coulson's a smart man.
Right.
He was like, full disclosure, Ada's an android.
Right.
He's like, and then also, like he was all about not taking Sky or Robbie, but then Coulson's like, we need these two. Don't do this. And he was like, okay. And there at the end, he saved Daisy's ass, and he did not have to. But he also kind of made a power move. It's like, you have to come back now. There's no choice.
Right. Well, there wasn't a whole lot of things he could have done at that point outside of just arrest her, and that wouldn't have gone over well with anybody. So I think we actually got the best of all scenarios with what would have happened with Mace.
He just played it off like they acted like she went rogue so she could use extreme measures to take down
if you'll remember, I told you they were going to do.
Yeah, you were definitely right on that.
So that happened, and it's just like, well, okay, I guess I kind of saw that coming, so whatever.
I also think you were right about something you said a couple episodes ago.
What's that?
Now that we have LMD May, it makes me think you were right that May probably knew right away it was an android.
Right.
And that's probably why she got switched out. Because she was going to blow the whole thing for him.
Maybe.
That makes me wonder if the doctor's in on it or not. Plus, how is he going to explain a dead S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in his house
that
went to retrieve all that information on the director's orders?
I'm going to have to become Val Kilmer from Batman for a second. Can I borrow your glasses real quick?
I'm blind, dude, so beware.
It just raises too many questions.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't really think this was a very strong episode, and the season I think it was a pretty weak episode all around, honestly. There's not a lot else to talk about because a lot of it is just going over stuff we already knew. This was like a weird jumping off point for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah. And the only thing that we found out is like Eli wasn't making something from nothing. He was robbing substances from the earth.
Well, yeah. Well, we kind of already knew that because of, well, for anybody who knows the first law of thermodynamics, it was kind of obvious that it wasn't conjuring; it was transmutation.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, whatever. I'll work with it.
The diamonds coming out of the dude's stomach were kind of cool.
Lungs.
Yeah.
His lungs. That was actually really cool. I was like, okay, that's actually kind of fucking awesome.
This is a bad man.
Yeah.
And what'd you think of Mace's little superhero suit that he just showed up in?
I kind of dug it, actually. I thought it looked very comic booky, and I was like, you know what? For somebody who was the guy who took Captain America's place way back in the day, this is actually a really good idea.
I think eventually he needs like a cyber shield to look more like Patriot.
Yeah, kind of like what they had with Coulson's.
Yeah, the shield symbol. Like, they mix that symbol with the Patriot thing. Like, he usually has an eagle on his chest.
Right.
It's like, okay, yeah, this is clearly you guys kind of trying to throw it. They'll probably develop that costume further on. And I guess he has that suit because now we know he's probably just really strong and he's not, like, bulletproof or anything.
Right.
He's just a very strong man.
Which is, again, totally cool, and hopefully this will lead towards a lot more character development for him, and we'll see him be an actual person going forward into this. So hopefully there will be a lot of that.
Yeah.
All in all, there's not really a lot to say about this episode. I'm sorry that this is what we get as a season or mid-season closer, and really wish it was something else.
Yeah, it felt very weak, but we did get the knowledge that Coulson knows about Ghost Riders. Yeah,
that was another thing. I was like, so you just now decide to tell us this? And he's acting all like, oh, this is weird. I don't know anything about the Ghost Rider. And then it's like, oh yeah, I know about the Ghost Rider. And it's like,
last Ghost Rider came back.
You're just pulling stuff out your butt now here. Let's. God damn, kids.
Yeah. My favorite scene in this whole thing was like my favorite like scenes and shots during this were Yo-Yo.
Yeah, she had a lot of really cool stunts. I especially like the fact that they actually did an explosion, like fire and shit shooting out the hallway, and an actual stunt person launching across the set into a wall. That looked really good, and I was like, oh, that was actually a lot of fun.
Okay,
I had some excitement. It didn't look like a whole bunch of CG fake.
I went back and watched the episodes, and I found out how Yo-Yo's powers work.
Okay, explain this.
She can move as much, like, it's, in a nutshell, it's super speed, but it's super speed, like, at a, like, it's not quite, she can move, do all that stuff, like, everything she does, and then the bounce back is a heartbeat. Like, all that's going on, that's why she bounces back, is, like, her heart beats, and it jumps her back to where she was.
Okay.
So, like, she may have found a way to, like, stretch them out, because she got a lot done.
Yeah, that was...
Like,
that was a long heartbeat there.
Like, she went through and she's like, okay, you need to take the axe out of this guy's neck, because you're going to shoot him. Let me switch this gun around real quick. Let me push dude in his own little thing.
Right.
But I loved her scenes, especially when she was running from fire.
Yeah.
Like, she was like...
Yeah, the slow-mo in this looked really, really good.
Yeah, I'd like to see more stuff like that, like, with super speed shows, like on The Flash.
Right.
Like, we barely get him doing anything in slow motion, and it always looks really animated. This felt natural.
Yeah, this felt really, really good. It looked really, really good. It really reminded me a lot of...
Quicksilver?
I was actually going to use a real-life equivalent with Slow-Mo Guys.
Yeah.
The channel operated by Gavin Free and Dan Grunchy, where they do slow-motion shots of various things, a water balloon popping, bullet through a plane propeller, just all kinds of really cool stuff. You should watch that. They do a lot of really cool stuff.
It reminded me of, like, our slowdowns with, like, the Quicksilver scenes in, like, X-Men Apocalypse or in Avengers 2, like, where we get the slowed down Quicksilver. And I always love shots like that when they don't look too cartoony.
Right. Well, that was one of the big distracting things I had in what was the one where they busted Magneto out of Days of Future Past?
Yeah.
Where in the soup kitchen, or in the kitchen to the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Because that's already a ridiculous scene. And there was a whole bunch of stuff that looked really, really good, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that looked really, really stupid and fake.
Yeah, well, they did the same thing in Apocalypse with the mansion exploding.
Yeah. I've seen that shot, and yeah, there's just way too much happening in these shots. The parts where it's just very minimalized as to what's happening in the background, you're not distracted by a whole bunch of shit, that's fine. That's when it looks good and real. But it's when they start flying in, like, utensils and pots and soup and everything, it's like, okay, you're stretching me here. I can tell that's not real, that's not real, that's not real. He's real, that's not real, that's not real. Floor's real, and everything else is beautiful. When you have just like one or two things happening, then it's like, okay, yeah. See, fire you can do a good 3D representation of. We've got that down pretty good. Water, we've got that down pretty good. Combining those two things and then having it set in an actual hallway with an actual person, and it's like, yeah, okay, this does look good. Yeah. This looks fine.
Is there anything else really to... I always love seeing Gemma and Fitz shooting somebody. Like, when Ada got shot, and they just, like...
Yeah, they just popped up out the desk.
It's like, okay.
Pop! It's like, oh, okay.
I just love seeing how those two have come from, like, little lab nerds to being, like, legitimate agents.
They definitely have the most fully developed character growth of just about anybody on this show, actually.
Fitz a little bit more because of the whole brain injury thing he went through.
Well, Gemma had to learn how to suck it up and be essentially a human being towards him and somebody who had to react with this. So I really like what they've done. I think it's really, really great idea, and I would love to see them do more stuff with them.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna get rid of Mace now. With
Probably not
everything. He'd be so much more useful as a field agent, though.
He may step down for it or get booted down. Who knows? We might have Fury come back and make like an executive decision.
Dude, I loved how Coulson did say he wanted Daisy to be the director.
Yeah,
and
like,
she
maybe
was
in the comic books, and I was sitting there, and this made me so mad when I heard this. And the only way I can describe my reaction is I have to look toward Brad Jones with Cinema Snob, and I just gave a Cinema Snob laugh where it's just like, yeah, that's exactly my laugh for that. And I was like,
there's
you show.
Sometimes like stupid references like that, like in the
occasionally, but you don't want to draw attention to how stupid the idea is.
In the DC crossover that they recently did. There's a scene where Kara is like in Supergirl's in her like her disguise, and Felicity's like, it's like looking into a mirror, and it's like, that's true. But then Brandon Routh chimes in, he's like, she kind of looks like my cousin, and I was like, yes.
Okay, see, that's actually a good one because
I loved that one.
That's a callback to a movie that is kind of looked at fondly now with Superman, and you just kind of like, yeah, okay, that didn't actually have anything play out to it, so there's no definitive thing you can look at and go, get it? Because this happened. And then it's like, okay, so he was Superman, and then, okay, we'll let that go.
Sometimes I like little funny stuff like that, but this one was very much, well, maybe in the comic version, it's like, oh, guys.
Yeah. No, this was just an exposition dump heavy, very, very poorly paced episode that I honestly think should have been either pushed back or just leave us with a better cliffhanger than this.
I mean, and I love this show. Like, I love a lot of things this show
overall,
does.
This show has been one of my favorites
this is
to come
just,
out.
Like,
for a network production of a superhero brand. And it's kind of going downhill, and it's really kind of making me upset.
Yeah. Like, because it took us so long with season 1 to get, like, an actual start and get going. And then, like, I definitely... It just seems like Ghost Rider was kind of just rushed through so they could get to this LMD storyline. And I would have preferred to see, more Ghost Rider. I'm hoping honestly, he comes back. Or
he probably will. I mean, there's no way they're going to... I mean, he's been on the promotional covers for this, like, every step of the way. So I very much doubt that they're going to kick him out after, 8 episodes.
Well, they changed, it went from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ghost Rider, now it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. LMD.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and...
who knows? Maybe we'll have, a trifecta. Maybe there'll be, a third thing pop up. Who knows? Maybe the third part will be the Watchdog story arc completing because they just dropped that like a sack of hot rocks.
Yeah.
Hot rocks were held longer. This was probably more akin to a sack of dead babies. They dropped it hard.
Wow, you just took that to a dark place.
Well, let's face facts. They dropped it pretty freaking hard, and the only thing I can think of dropping harder than that is sack of dead babies.
Man, it's just... There's really... not much left to say.
I really don't want to see this show go downhill like so many others have, and it's making me a little itchy that they're doing stuff like this. So
yeah, hopefully the rest of the season plays out okay. I've been calling her turning on them like day one. I was like, this is gonna bite them in the ass.
Yeah, and it's straight out of nowhere too that it happens.
I knew that this was gonna be. She was going to be a problem when she was the last thing they touched on last season.
Right.
It's like, oh, yeah, that's going to be their Ultron. That's going to bite them in the ass. And then they tried to play it off like it wouldn't, and I was still sitting there going, no, that's going to bite them in the ass. Yeah. Another thing that doesn't make sense with that, though, with May being replaced, why was she scared of the Darkhold? she cracked that bad boy open and was like, oh no, and it's like, okay, if you're an LMD, you should have been able to read this as well as Ada.
Right.
But maybe that was, like, I don't know, are her and Ada, like, talking or stuff, like, where Ada's like, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that?
I don't know. All I know is that this is looking like a really dumb story arc, and it's just...
It's gonna be... We're gonna get, like, an Invasion of the Body Snatchers type thing.
If we're lucky, it'll be half as good as that.
Because now,
show.
like, Mace is like, okay, you're gonna work on this project, but you're gonna do it here.
I really actually like that. I thought that was a really, really smart idea to move forward with, and just say, you know what, this was actually a really, really invaluable plan. It's dangerous, but we're going to use it.
Yeah, but there's probably going to be a lot. May's not the only one that's going to get switched by the time this is done. Like, we're going to end up with, like, half a team. Like, we're going to, like, where S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be, like, a split down the middle because the real ones are going to get locked up.
So we're going to have, like, an Ultron and Civil War type deal.
Yeah. I think we're going to get, like, May... Probably Mac and like Fitz and Simmons get replaced or something like that. But if you're going to replace Fitz and Simmons, you have to do it at the same time because they're both really smart.
Well, that might be how they immediately spot the differences. Those two, because if you'll remember, Simmons spotted the fact that she's an LMD like right off the bat.
Yeah.
So if they end up replacing Fitz, then that's probably going to be how they discover it. She's going to come back and she'll be like, this isn't Fitz.
Yeah.
I've been sleeping with a robot.
Like
that robot gives damn good foot massages,
I think she might also be the one who's like, that's not May.
Right.
Like, we were ignoring this, but like it's going to slip up, and I don't think we're going to have LMDs replace Inhumans because they can't mock powers.
No.
Not well, anyway. So, we're definitely going to get, like, Daisy, the director. Maybe Coulson will get replaced instead of Fitz and Simmons. Especially since Robo-May is getting pretty close to him. So, we might get Coulson replaced instead.
That makes a little bit of sense.
Maybe Mac, so...
I don't know.
Guess we'll find out in January.
It's getting pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you back here next time in January, everybody. Do you have any predictions?
I just gave them.
Okay.
Like, we're going to get...
I predict this show may not recover.
Maybe we'll get, like, a Vision cameo, maybe, where
That'd be cool.
He comes in and deals with it. Because you kind of... I think you hit it on the head where it's kind of leading up to, like, a Bride of Ultron thing.
Right.
I think that...
Or this might be how we get a Return of Ultron.
Maybe... I don't know, because Ultron was just very much... I don't see...
He was essentially a one-and-done bad guy for what seemed... They're gonna...
He wouldn't want to look like a human either.
They're really going to have to... they're going to have to step this up.
Yeah.
In order to pull this season out the bag.
I'm hoping for a shock and a surprise, but you never know.
Better shock and surprise than what we got.
Yeah, definitely.
That's about all we got, then, guys.
Dude, I texted you and I was like, I'm mad at this.
yeah, you did. And I was like, well, I'll see that in the morning.
I guess that wraps it up, man.
That's about it.
Alright, we'll see you guys back here in January. Later, everybody.